We did a FOIA request for a copy of Mr. Corbett's resume where he applied for a job at the Fort Iroquois Public Health Department, and he declined to provide it.
No, he didn't decline. He refused.
Well, maybe he needed a little guidance on what he can, what he has to provide, and what he doesn't have to provide.
Well, he got the guidance. The state's attorney told him you have to turn it over, but he still refused.
That's right. We have that on audio from their last meeting, and it shows willful, knowingly, and in bad faith refusing to comply with the FOIA law.
Yes.
Huh.
That wouldn't be real good for him in the long run.
That makes it easier to get a civil penalty.
Yes, it does.
Right. So you did a FOIA request to the Illinois Department of Public Health.
Yep, Illinois IDPH. And boy, did we get back a beautiful document, beautiful stack of documents. It was rather exciting because when we compare it to what Mr. Corbett said at the last health board meeting, I believe he used the term promoted. He was promoted in 2006, and certificate from the state will support that. And I think that was a quote in the paper too, that he was promoted in 2006. And let's not worry about the fact that his deputy administrator title, he didn't really clarify that too well, but he tried on this last escapade of would that be a misspoke or misspeak?
Promotion means you get a pay raise and a different job title.
Right, that'd be a different job title.
Well, the paperwork I'm looking at says he was approved for the position of public health administrator because he met the criteria. That doesn't necessarily mean he is working as a public health administrator or that anybody has hired him as one yet. He's just authorized to hold that job according to the state of Illinois and the Department of Public Health.
Well, he claims that this was the date that he was promoted to that position, which again conflicts with the original claim that he was the administrator for the health department dating clear back to 2004.
Yeah.
And that 2004 is an interesting timeline because when you look at this application, and we'll put all these documents online so you can see for yourself, the individual from the Board of Health that filled this out and signed the application and turned it in says date of hire, Deputy Administrator Doug Corbett. Date of hire was November 22nd of 2005. I thought he was there as the administrator in 2004.
Yeah.
I thought it was a mistake that he didn't say Deputy Administrator, but this says 2005. Interesting.
Well, he's got the qualifications.
Yeah.
Oh, what else came in that FOIA request from the Department of Public Health?
Well, it's interesting. Before we jump onto those documents, the second page of this application, and we're waiting for some information back from St. Louis, but he got his master's in 2003, graduated in 2003 from St. Louis University Public Health and Social Justice. He graduated his master's there. And that was in 2003. And then on this application to IDPH, she talks about previous employment. Now, he started working at the City of St. Louis Health Department in June of 2004, so roughly 6 months later. And gosh, under the duties and responsibilities, he said he was in charge of the City of St. Louis Bioterrorist Program. Yeah. I'm anxiously awaiting the response from the City of St. Louis Health Department on that. I find it hard, coming from emergency services background, that he would be in charge of the bioterrorist program 6 months out of getting his master's degree.
He didn't say he was in charge of it, he oversaw it.
Oh, would that be a misspoke? I misspoke.
Well, if you oversee something, doesn't that mean you're in charge of it?
Well, I guess it depends, but we wanted to cover both terminologies, that way we've got our bases covered. So we'll see how that plays out when we get our information back from the City of St. Louis. That should prove quite interesting. But the fun part of the whole document, because this relates back to the FOIA that we did, he acknowledged that he would give us his college transcripts, but not his grades from those transcripts. Well,
really?
What did IDPH send us?
The transcripts and the grades. That's right.
Well, we got
Just
it
like
all.
they're supposed to.
Yeah, they complied with the FOIA because all of this was provided in order to get his
The
license.
transcripts and the grades to include all classes taken and the grade point averages by semester.
And it's rather telling. You know, it's, gosh, where do you start, John?
Well, we can start. We'll start in the fall of 1982, where he took table tennis.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah,
He passed it. He got credit for it.
that's right. And then he took badminton the next semester.
Badminton.
And he made a D in essay and composition.
Well, don't forget, being that we're military vets, what's that 1 in 82 list there? U.S. military history. Got a D in that.
Yeah,
Man, what a bummer.
U.S. military history.
Now, come on, let's not beat him up too hard. He did get a B in that second semester. What's that bottom class there?
Lecture in human sex.
Interesting. You know, it's interesting for me because looking at the health department in its current makeup, there's approximately 42 employees there.
Wait a minute. That was a lecture. That means it was a 1 credit hour, 1 day lecture.
So he took a class or a lecture in human sex. He got credit for it, got a B. Another class he took on here was social, would you call that genetics? Social gen and sex roles.
Yeah.
Interesting. While we're on that topic, you find it odd that they've got 42 employees approximately at the health department, and in the last 5 years they've had 90, which means they've had quite a turnover rate. But of the 42 employees, there's only 2 males in the whole operation.
That's a 200% turnover.
Don't worry about dotting the I's and
Well,
crossing the
he
T's.
made a D in macroeconomics, so he might not have figured that one out.
Yeah. In principles of accounting, he got a D in that one as well. And
Let's see, fall semester of 83, GPA 1.7. 84 semester, GPA 2.
no, 84
Fall semester of 84, 1.6.
1.6.
Right. Principles accounting, D.
Yep.
Marxism and Marxist traditions.
Marxism.
Yeah.
He took a class in Marxism, huh?
What do you expect?
Interesting. When you look at the pattern of things, it kind of makes sense. We're going to just spend and spend and spend. What was it they spent? Over $1 million in the hole on a 3-year track record of home health. And did you hear the latest on that? The folks within that agency are now saying those were fabricated numbers, that our story wasn't correct.
Well, they gave up the numbers.
It was a FOIA from their own division. All we did was compile them into one spreadsheet.
So they falsified the FOIA?
Well,
Are they admitting to that?
no, they're just saying our reporting was inaccurate.
Okay.
They must not realize the numbers came from them.
So let's go to the fall semester, winter semester of 86. A D, literature since Civil War, and a D in U.S. history since 1890. And his final GPA of 2.31, he got his Bachelor of Arts.
So the question for me, having been in a position to hire people before, if I were to look at a transcript or a resume, which he won't give us a resume, but he said he'd give us the transcript.
Oh, we'll get the
minus
resume.
Oh, I know we'll get it. But he didn't want us to have it because we would, how do you put it?
Trash him.
Trash him or something to that effect. And the truth has no agenda. But if I were to look at a resume where the grades reflect barely a 2.1? 2.2?
2.6, I believe, was the final. 2.31.
2.31 was the final graduating GPA.
That's right.
I'd have a hard time wanting to hire the guy. And for whatever reason, he got hired. College time.
Well, he was better than 23 other people at the student end of that class.
Oh, you're kidding.
He was number 97 out of 120.
Well, he's in the upper half.
No, he's not. The lower half. The lower quarter. He's in the lowest 25% of the class.
No, he'd be.
Yeah, he's number one would be a perfect 4.0. So anyway, on to St. Louis University. He did improve his grades at St. Louis University.
Absolutely.
Ended up with a final cumulative GPA there of 3.654 for his master's in public administration.
Yep. From St. Louis University, Department of Public Health and Social Justice. Kind of along the lines of Marxism, but we won't go into that ideology just too much here.
Well, what classes make him? Ethical issues of public health. He got an A, but must not have followed him. Must not have followed him through to his job. Oh,
there we go.
Working with culturally diverse populations. Behavioral science. That must not have followed him either. So anyway, there you have it. There's his.
Wait a minute. Ethical issues?
That's what I said. It must not have followed him after he graduated.
I missed that one. He got an A in ethical issues?
Right.
You're kidding. After all the lies he's been exposed, that we've exposed,
That's right.
he actually got an A in ethical issues. Wow.
So there you have it. There's his transcripts and his application for his to be qualified as a director of public health by the state of Illinois. In no means does that mean he was promoted. The state of Illinois can't promote you in a job at the county level.
They just approved it.
Yeah.
That would be wordsmithing, I think is what the preacher man called things like that.
And one of the next videos is going to be this guy up here from the state of Illinois. Apparently has something to do with the smoking grass.
Yeah, the tobacco guy. That was an exciting little exchange.
So that'll be for another video.
Stay tuned.